Dear friends, hello everyone. I think everyone knows that I rarely write notes and do my work quite quietly and calmly, helping and communicating with our military, with families of missing and wounded, and I almost never go out of this regard in public. But, I am in a state when it is hellish. And it is so hellish that I no longer see the need to be silent. After all, when we are silent, it is probably even worse than when you talk about it. Because we need to talk about the problem. There is such a unit, the 23rd OSB. They communicate very poorly with families of missing and wounded, quite negative responses to them, a lot of complaints about this unit. I am also addressed directly by relatives who have lost their loved ones, as missing or loved ones who are in captivity. And they asked me to participate in organizing communication with the command, to somehow convey information to the general staff, which, in principle, I am trying to do. But today there was such a story that I want to share with you. Today, this family, some of their relatives, had an online meeting, which I also participated in. After the command saw that I had joined, they just cut me off from communication. Well, if some body parts that, I'm sorry, are only ingrained in the blood of our people, can do this, and can do this in relation to the MP, what to say about ordinary people, about ordinary women, ordinary mothers, about ordinary children who just want to know where their relatives are. What to say if they cannot get the truth? What to say that the truth is silenced? What to do if they allow themselves to do this in relation to MPs who directly cooperate and work with these families? I don't want it to turn into some kind of Russian dog, which very often sticks to someone because no one wants to hear the truth. There are normal commanders, there are normal units, and there are people to whom I think everyone is given with deep respect and trust. But there are such body parts, and I want you to know their names directly. By the way, they not only insult families, they also dictate how meetings will be held, and they threaten them that if they complain somewhere, that they will not receive documents, that they will not receive information, that they will not look for their relatives. By the way, few people say that they are looking for few people, and in general it is difficult to find. But I believe that heroes should be known in their faces. So, Lieutenant Azhnov Andrei Fedorovich, this is the biggest opponent of communication. By the way, he holds the position of the head of the Morale Support Battalion. Well, maybe there is only his own moral support, because there is no moral support of the fighters, but he has a pretty good salary. And he also dictates to families how they should talk and what questions they can ask. Next, we have Liusar Alexei Mikhailovich, TV Assistant Commander of the Battalion of Law Enforcement Sergeant. Lieutenant of the Medical Forces Morozov Andrei Pavlovich, Head of the Medical Service, Head of the Medical Center. By the way, there were a lot of appeals to this unit about the early evacuation, medical evacuation. And even today, there was a soldier who was not given a word, who lost his hand due to the fact that he was not evacuated in time. This is a problem for many brigades, but there were as many appeals as for this one. And the senior soldier, Shevchuk Volodymyr Alexandrovich, he is the head of the Financial and Economic Service. Therefore, he was involved due to the fact that there were a lot of complaints that the payments were not made, or they were not made in full, or they were delayed for a very long time. So, unfortunately, considering the situation, I, by the way, reported about this incident to our senior generals. Unfortunately, I have not seen any reaction yet. But the point is that if there are problems, they cannot be silenced. They need to be solved. Therefore, I believe that heroes should be known by their faces. I will repeat myself again. Well, it's your business what to do with them next. Now I want to address the Minister of Defense, Mr. Shmyhal. I ask you to respond to this incident. And I also ask you to carry out direct control over how the military units communicate with families of missing, deceased, as well as military prisoners. Because while their husbands, sons, and parents are giving their lives, we allow you to sit in Kyiv and drink a cup of coffee in the morning. Thank you. I look forward to your response.